G'day guys. So I'm going to connect to my Spitronics. First time I've done this. I'm a total Spitronics virgin when it comes to this setup. Let's connect my gear here. Let's connect in and see what we can do. So I got this the Bluetooth module was just sort of coming out, and that sounds like a cool thing to me. I've got this little box thing, USB UART, and let's plug this in over here. I did read that it's not recommended to connect with the unit powered up. What have we got here? Instructions. It's suggesting could not maybe hook up because the laptop is connected to 240 or 220 volt mains. You can see our laptop is not attached to any extra power, and it gives a few instructions on how to get in. Let's see if we can just open some software. Oh, look at that. So I'm in my laptop trying to find the software. I just searched the device manager, found, there we go, look at that. Righto, I've opened the software. Now I'm going to just power up the ECU. We'll see what happens. Well, this thing's going green. You can't see it when I point to the screen, can you? There it is, look at that. Brings up a serial number. Hardware class is advanced. Firmware class advanced. Look at that. It's awesome. It's on COM port 9. That was easy. That was very easy to get into. And there we are, connected into the software. I just had to reopen Hyperspace correctly, and we're good to go. So here's our device information. It recognizes me now. Oh, okay, so here's general purpose 1. So that's my fan output. Cool. Wonder if I can turn that down and get an output earlier. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Yeah, water. Nothing is connected at the moment, so that's why I'm getting a weird water setting. And I like to know what's going on with this stuff before I fire it up. And it's nice to see this. We've probably got to save. Is that a save as? Save the map file to a directory. Yes, I do want to do that. We might start a new folder for it. Z, and I'm going to call this a startup file. I'm not going to call it like a base map. It quite clearly says we're going to save that. Oh, excellent, thank you. I'll just find it here. No. I was doing some reading. One of these articles is actually really interesting. Here it is. Let's see. Is the unit pre-tuned? No. But we do put a startup map. It's a startup map. in the unit. These units are universal for different engines and cannot cater for all variations in sensor and driver setup like injector sizes, fuel pressure. In some units that are engine specific, we will load a tuned map on that type of engine. It should start and be drivable around 90%, but fine setup will make it more efficient. 1UZs have 2 different injector sizes in the factory vehicles. So your base map, or your startup map, could alter due to injector size. So that's why it should always be tuned once it's fitted up into the vehicle. Right, that's my general. What's engine say? It's a piston engine, 8 cylinders. Map range, map sensor 1.1. This one says it's a 2.5. 2.5. Timing, maximum timing, that looks okay. Coil, yep, that looks okay. Accelerator pump on map. I would normally do it on TPS. There's fuel cutoff. Okay, I'm kind of getting my head around what's going on here. Sensors, TPS, map, water temp, air temp's actually turned off. I can probably turn that on. There's got to be a calibration table for that because we're reading 50 degrees. I might just plug the water temp sensor in and see what the calibration comes up at. Righto. So I've plugged in my water temp, and you see that came up about right, 10 degrees. I plugged in the TPS, it went to 100%. Looking at the diagrams, when I was wiring it, I laughed because I thought the diagrams looked like they were backwards. Turns out they are. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to work my way through and set this up properly. Map sensor, we're not a 1.1, it's 2.5. TPS, that's going to be an easy solve. So wait there, I'm going to go solve that issue. So I have turned off the ECU, it's not powered up. Don't use the little pokey tool and break it. So I check my information. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've definitely wired this to the diagrams. And I definitely had my suspicions that it was wrong. Oh, that took a little bit to get it out, but I got it. Gotcha. So we're just going to swap them around to proper. Beauty. They're back in. We're just waiting for it to connect. We're back in. Oh, look at the TPS. It's at 0. Turns that on. Okay, so we got TPS right. Oh, I didn't save this. 2.5, and there's got to be a way of sending this right there. Look at that. So now when I turn it off, it'll save that map sensor. That's better. Let's have a look at the timing graph. Oh, look at that. Okay. We've got a 2D timing map here. That's fairly primitive. But we've got a second one here with your map sensor. So that's your second degree. So there's your 3D timing. Right, okay, we can work with that. Fuel graph, that's what we got. Again, fairly primitive. I think I can make that work. Water graph. So there's your cold start. Putting some more fuel in. Oh, that's your timing. So it adds timing when it's cold. And that's your fueling. Oh, yep, cool. And that's as your battery voltage drops, it puts some more fuel in. And increases your dwell time on that table. Okay, I'm getting my head around this. Ah, look, there you go. 36 minus 1, 8 cylinders. So that's correct there. I don't know what that number is. Map teeth. 36 minus 1. So that's a number that I don't quite understand. But I'll find that out. This is my first time actually connected to a Spitronics total. First time ever. And there's the crank test. I saw about that in the book. Or in the... Oh, yeah, okay. And there's our calibration. Look at that. You just pushed a little picture. Easy. Okay. Push that. Push that. Doesn't give me much offset, does it? Because I'm still at 32 degrees. And it's possibly because it's set up for a different kind of air temp sensor. So that's a little bit of a pain. And I like air temp sensor correction. Okay, that's fine. I'll look at that as well. I don't have fuel pressure. Oh, there we go. And I thought we could change it. There we go. Look, we can change it to a 5-volt wideband. Okay, that's pretty cool. At least then I'd be able to read it of what it's coming in as. I'll just turn that off. Okay. I need to adjust the air temp. But we're looking pretty good here, actually. I'm getting my head around it. I'm not sure what that one means. But in here, or in there, that's correct. I reckon this will go. I'll do a bit of research on what air temp sensor it should have. I left a little bit of extra wire there just in case, because I would have liked a bit more calibration. But I think I'll go have some dinner, and then I'll come back, or might do it tomorrow, and we're going to make this thing run. And so I'm back into this. After dinner last night, I sat down and I read a lot of the help files. In the software, you go to the help and the manuals, and I went to the Orion manual. So looking at that, help, manuals, Orion manual, and there we go. Look, I read a lot of this. I found about the air temp sensors. So the air temp sensor isn't something that I keep here commonly. in this form. And it's just working with different ECUs and not knowing exactly what to use. This is what I normally use in a lot of them. So probably what my best option to do is to leave the air temp turned off at the moment, and then to organise a thermistor and actually modify this one, solder it in, take the thermistor out of this one and put it into another one, or put another one in it. So that solves that problem. So for now, I'm going to turn the air temp off. Turn that off. Turn that off. I am going to calibrate the TPS. Jasmine, can you open the throttle, please, on this vehicle? Open it all the way up. Drop it all the way to nothing. So open it, please, and let it off. Just move it just a little bit, please. Just like, yeah, perfect. And back. Awesome, thank you. That's awesome. Well, that was pretty easy for calibrating the TPS. I did have an extra person here. Now I'm going to crank it and see if it generates an RPM. Which it does. I was looking over the different maps as well. I was reading about this tooth count. Right at the moment I don't remember what that was, but that's good. I've got that map range, that's good. With the timing, I prefer it in a matrix mode, so I'm going to flick it over to matrix mode. And for fueling, I'm going to do the same thing. So now when I look up here, my timing map and fuel map have changed and they look like this. And that's much more what I am used to dealing with. If you prefer it in the graph, then you can change it back the other way. I don't need it to rev to 9,000, so I'm just going to drop it to 500 RPM increments, and we'll send that to the device. Righto, I think I am ready to start this. I'm going to plug all the ECU in. Oh, that's done. Plug the engine in, fire some fuel in, put some leads on it, ready to make it go brum brum. So I've actually never fired this engine up. This is the first fire up of this engine in this space. Connected to the laptop. We've checked oil pressure, generating RPM. Wants to go. Okay, let's give that another try. I don't know if the coils are good. Send the data. Well, it runs. Not running fantastically, but I have fired it up on an engine that hasn't been fired up before. I think I'll set up a radiator and then we'll warm it up properly and diagnose why it's not on all cylinders. But hey, good step forward. I pretty much haven't adjusted the map that's in there. Water! Makes a difference! Doesn't make a difference! Doesn't make a difference! Considering it fired up on 4 cylinders, it actually runs pretty well. So there's something up with this. As I did say, this engine hasn't been started in this space before. It was pretty grubby, but it relates to a coil type fault with the cylinder mixing that it's playing up with. I'm going to do some more checking, and then once we've got it on 8, hopefully I'll let you know what I found, and we'll have it running nicely. Okay, I've got some news. My motor's buggered. As I started off at the beginning, I did say about doing prep properly, and this is a really good example. I was suspicious of this engine. I knew there was a possibility that it might not be a good one. I just had that feeling, but I proceeded anyway because I didn't have time to pull it right down at that point. And I figured if it was buggered, I could be doing a video on fixing what it was and diagnosing the issue. I've just done a video on diagnosing it. It looks like it's got a sticky valve or a bent valve on number 7 cylinder, and it is the back valve. Massive tappet clearances. I can hear a bit of noise, but it still actually starts and runs really well. So on the Spitronics front, this cheap ECU is running a stuffed engine. It's able to keep it idling, dumps massive flames, awesome flames. I'm actually reasonably impressed. Hey, it's not in the truck yet, we're not driving it, but for testing on the floor in this situation, it's looking good. I was going to consider flipping it, the loom onto Old Yeller, but there is a time factor that I've got to consider. So I'm going to whip this loom off, I'm going to tape it. Jasmine has started cleaning the truck, prepping that engine. That one we've had running before, so we know it's good. And this engine's just going to be pushed into the corner for the moment in a sad state of affairs because I don't have time to fix it. I've got a customer's job, so I've got to get done. But over the next few months, I will slowly tick away, get this apart, and get it sorted. I'll just show you it starting and running. I've pulled a little bit of fuel out at idle, but let's start it and run it one more time. As I said, I'm pretty impressed by a cheap ECU. Starts and runs, simple. I think if I was doing it, I would make a new loom from scratch, and then it would be tiny. It'd be about the size of my finger, my little finger. But it starts pretty well. It's easy to communicate with the software. I'm going to work around that software pretty quick. It'd be nice if the help function, the help menu, had the hotkeys in it. We're searching for hotkeys on adjusting and tuning, and the help file doesn't exist. So some of that information's a bit funny. Air temp, it'd be nice if it was a normal NTC air temp sensor, very similar to the water temp. And that's what the rest of all the other ECUs do, or being able to change the pull-up value to get the setting that we want. But overall, hey, so far, I'm reasonably impressed by this. How's that? Missing a lung, down on 1 cylinder, still sits and idles. I reckon we could do with some more idle speed. So I just adjusted the idle speed. Look, that is good. Restoring it to the device does seem to stop it though. Vroom. This isn't the last video. I've got one more or two more, some more, whilst we fit it to the actual truck it's going on. So look out for those videos, and I hope this has been helpful. We'll talk to you again soon. Catch you later. That's the menu for hotkeys. But look what I found in the software. Oh, wait, hotkeys. Oh, no, wait. It's here. It was under general. Oh, no, tuning. Tuning, settings, hotkeys. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Look at that. All right. Now to remember them all.